everything else going on in the world, it's just nice to lay back and stay here. So what happened with my phone 2 days ago is I was hiking along the trail and talking to my father, and all of a sudden the phone dies. And I thought I had battery. So I looked at it and I said, please don't die. Please don't be broke. Please don't be broke. Please don't be broke. Please don't be broke. And I put my pack down. I tried charging it. I hiked a little bit longer. It didn't turn on. And the road seemed to be like I could follow it. So I kept hiking until I could follow it. And then there was a merge. And the thing is, you can't hike the Arizona Trail without a GPS app. So I sat down, I drank some water, and I tried turning on my phone, and I couldn't turn it on. So I cried. I cried for probably like 20 minutes because you can't go forward, can't go backwards, or I could go backwards. I don't know where the road is. I don't know how to get to town. If I lose my spot on the trail, I know I won't be able to get back because I get lost every 10 minutes. So I meditated, then I remembered there was a car that passed on one road that I had walked past like 7 miles back. So I just turned around and walked 7 miles without any water back to that road. And then I cried. And I sat in the road and I cried. And then a car came up and I told her, crying, that my phone broke. And since my phone broke, I couldn't hike. And she goes, yeah, you can't hike this trail without a phone, without GPS. And she's like, but honey, 2.5 miles up, there's a road, and then someone will take you to Flagstaff. I'm like, really? How far is Flagstaff? She's like, it's like 30 minutes. She's like, I would take you now, but I have errands to do. And once the errands are done, if you're still on that road waiting for a ride, then I will take you. So I said, thank you. She said, do you want water? Like a jackass. I said, no. So then she left. I walked up the road onto the highway. I have never hitchhiked. I didn't like it. 5 cars passed, and I felt like such a jackass standing on the side of the road. I'm sure lots of people do it, but I've never had to stand on the side of the road to get a car. So I didn't like it. And they all said no. Cars passed and they wouldn't take me. So then I cried and I started walking the 22 miles to Flagstaff on the highway. And I was very thirsty because I was a jackass and I didn't accept the water that the lady offered me. So I'm walking, more cars pass, more cars tell me to fuck off. And I see a lake. And I'm like, okay, if I have to hike the 22 miles, at least I will have water and I'll go down to this lake. I go down to the lake. It is not a lake. It is a mosquito breeding ground. I'm walking past and the lake bed has dried up. So now every time I see lake on the map, I'm terrified of this, like a mosquito breeding ground, because I walk down into the lake, this beautiful view. Beautiful. Just like this looks beautiful. And as soon as you step on the ground, thousands of mosquitoes swarm up. And I'm like, this is okay. As long as I get to the water. If I get to the water, then I can just filter it. I can drink it. I can get right back on the road. So I get to the water and it's like, it's filterable. But as I filter it, the thousands of mosquitoes are swarming and like biting me, and the water smells and everything's, and I see the cars passing by. So I grab a liter and I pack. And I'm like, that was just a bad idea because that could break my filter, and then I'd have no filter, no phone, and no filter. So I get back onto the highway. More cars pass me. I cry more. And then this big pickup truck, old, passes me by, stops, and comes back. And I open and it's a guy. It's like a guy in his 65. He's like, can I help you, honey? And I'm like, I'm crying. My phone broke. I have to get to town. I have to get to Flagstaff in order to get a new phone so that I can continue my hike. He's like, well, let's move everything over and you can sit in the front. And I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you, sir, so much. Then he opens the door after he's moved everything, and there are guns everywhere because I'm in fucking Arizona. Who in Arizona doesn't have a gun? I'm like, oh, that's a gun. I've never seen a gun. And he's like, yeah, I shoot coyotes. If anyone knows me, the people that I hate the most are the hunters that shoot coyotes, wolves, big cats, any of the predators, because we have so few of them. And I've thought about this over and over again, and I kind of wish I'd said no and I had not gotten into the car because it's against my principle, but somehow I got into the car and he drove me to, I played nice. I was a nice person. I didn't say mean things about his profession. I mean, he could barely walk. He was old. There was like a thing on the windshield, disabled. So he drove me to the Walmart and to the Verizon and to a mall, and next door was a hotel, and he was nice. He didn't try to kill me, but then when I got to the store, after I calmed down, after I bought a phone, I walked back to an AT&T store that said they would help me set it up. My phone wasn't broken. It was just dead. My phone was not broken. They plugged it in and it charged. So the moral of this story is, when having a panic attack about a broken phone or about anything in life that you think is fatal, that you're in a life or death situation, because I thought that without a phone there was a possibility of dying, because on this trail, you without a phone, you are in big trouble. Breathe. I have a whistle. Breathe. Breathe some more. And try not to panic. So my phone works. But now, for good measure, I have 2 phones. I have 2 iPhones that are fully functional, 2 battery packs, so I will never be left without a phone, without GPS, ever again.